It's going to be motions in limine. We're going to have to follow those when we get the trials, and we're going to have to get some precedent. But in the meantime, it's up in limbo.
Yeah, because our laws just changed last year, so it's all very new in Florida.
So, and y'all had to file a lot of lawsuits. Go ahead and describe that change. Tell us what the change was, because people don't understand this. I mean, when you vote, you don't realize who you vote for means a lot, you know, and it can trickle down to your motorcycle.
Yeah, I mean, there was a number of things that they did. You know, number one, they kind of restricted the amount you can recover for your actual medical bills. So the medical bills, instead of being what they're actually charging, what the hospitals are charging you, or what the insurance company is charging you, it's now tied to the Medicare and Medicaid pay schedule.
Wow.
Even if you don't have Medicare or Medicaid, which is just crazy to me. They also, changed the percentage, like I mentioned before. There was a number of other changes that went into effect, but because of those, basically, we had about a 1 week period to file lawsuits on every one of our cases in the office to basically bring them under the old statute, under the old law, to protect our clients' interests there. So that was a rough week for us working around the clock.
Were a lot of clients scared and apprehensive of, hey, I don't want to go to court, because we always hear that as well. I don't want to go to court.
I mean,
Please get this worked out.
We had to work it through, and most of those cases did still end up resolving, but we still had to file it to protect their interest and protect their rights there. And once we explained to them what was happening, most of them were okay with it. But man, that was a crazy week.
Wow. That is wild. And then Medicare, Medicaid, when they're paying those prices, I mean, people don't realize that either. I mean, that's 20 cents on the dollar.
Right.
So just to kind of clarify that for our listeners, if you have $1,000 medical bill, well, Medicare is probably paying $200 on that.
Right.
And if that's all you can show your damages are to try to settle your case, well, you just, your legislature's just devalued every one of your motorcycle claims.
Right. And the person who's injured is still stuck with the actual bill.
Yeah.
It's not like the actual bill gets reduced. It's just the amount that they can ask for from the insurance company gets reduced, which is just not fair, frankly.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So hopefully we can get some reform to shift that back the other way, but we'll see how that goes.
Do you ever have any, and I know in my state at least, they're tough to cases with weather's involved. So if you're having snow, well, you don't have any snow, you're in Florida, but rainy conditions.
It rains every day in Florida. Yeah, I mean, obviously, again, the insurance companies are always going to look at weather conditions, try to blame it. When you're a biker out there, they always try to blame you. I mean, that. Anything that they can think of to try to blame you. So, and in Florida, it rains pretty much every day. 3 o'clock every day, we get a thunderstorm of some kind. So, of course, they're going to say, well, it was the road conditions. They were going too fast for the road conditions or whatever it may be. And, sometimes we have to hire experts to come in and kind of show, no, that's not actually the case, or reconstruct the accident or whatever it may be. But yeah, any place where you're dealing with, hazardous weather, whether it's rain or snow, you got to know how to fight against those claims where the biker's at fault.
And I'll remember this too, and I always preach this to anybody who will listen, is a lot of times when they determine fault, they don't see it. The biker's gone in an ambulance to the emergency room, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, so you have the person who is usually at fault, and they're giving their account, of course, to try to get out of the ticket or say that they weren't at fault in the accident or whatever it may be. So, yeah, the person who's actually injured and saw what happened a lot of times is not there. And if there's no cameras or independent witnesses, you have to go back and kind of argue fault. And so, as you see all the time, the insurance companies will initially come up and they'll go to the injured person and say, oh, yeah, our investigation finds that you're 40% at fault, so we're only going to offer you $3,000 for this or something, which is all just made up numbers at that point.
I call it adjuster law. They're just making shit up. Yeah.
Exactly, and they're offering you pennies on the dollar to try to get you to sign something quickly to go away, and so that you're not fairly compensated for your injuries and your medical bills and all that kind of stuff.